In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to photograph a sculpture using daylight with a window. Things we will need are a piece of paper we could use as a background, in this case light gray, some tape, some pieces of foam board we could use as reflectors, and a table near a window. You could get the foam board and paper at a local art supply store. It's important to isolate the work from a busy background. First, we tape up the paper we will be using as a background. The shadow is defined by the relationship to the window, and the light from the side like this allows us to see the volume and the texture quite well. If the shadow is too strong, we can use a reflector to soften it. It's important to photograph the surface details. We could also photograph it without the seamless background, perhaps on a tabletop. The important part is to make sure that the background doesn't have too many distracting elements. Because it's a 3D work, we'll have to consider an angle or multiple angles to view the work. In this demonstration, we will be learning how to photograph a sculpture using artificial lights. The most effective approach to lighting a sculpture with artificial light is to start with one light, and if you need a second one, you could add it later. I've positioned the sculpture away from the wall so that we can put the light on it and not on the wall. Using clip lights, we could do a nice job lighting the sculpture. You could get clips and bulbs at your local hardware store. It might help to have someone move the light around while you look at the work. Consider that the side lighting will reveal the volume and texture of the work. I like the position of the light, but I don't like the big shadow coming off the side, so I'm going to use a reflector. We don't necessarily need another light, but it will reduce the contrast quite a bit. If you don't have a piece of foam board to use as a reflector, you could just get a piece of cardboard and tape some white paper to it. Make sure your lens is clean. Make sure you have space around the artwork so you could try different setups and figure out which works best for you. If you have two lights, you could try lighting the wall. We could light it like this. It will look better if it looks like the light is coming up from behind the work, so it's lighter on the bottom. If your sculpture is shiny, you could surround it with sheets of white paper. This will control reflections. Now I'm going to make it darker using the exposure adjustment. Tap the screen while you're in the camera app, and when the square appears, slide your finger down to darken the image or up to lighten it.